Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder, SportsNoah.com. Hope you had a great Christmas and hope you enjoyed watching the Saints dismantle the Atlanta Falcons 45-16 in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Lenny, this game started out like it was going to be a ping-pong affair back and forth, but that changed pretty radically as the Saints took over control late in the second quarter and never let up.
No, a great job on both sides of the football, and obviously we'll get to Drew Brees in a moment, but to be able to put up 45 points against what has been a pretty good Falcons defense in terms of trying to move the ball. They did a great job, the Saints offense did, of running the ball, averaging over 7 yards a carry, and really, establishing that part of things. And then on the defensive side, a typical effort of what we've seen out of this Saints defense of late. Give up some yards, buckle down in the red zone, get some stops, only allow the Falcons to score one touchdown on the night.
Yeah, that's all that really matters in the final analysis. And got a turnover that resulted in a touchdown, which is something new. Kicking game was terrific as usual, and as you mentioned, the running game, very good. If you can stay healthy, you being the Saints, this is a team that clearly has the makings of being able to make a run at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and teams have obviously done it having to play the first weekend, and that's what remains to be decided at this point. The Saints 12-3, the 49ers 12-3. If you don't know it by now, the 49ers own the tiebreaker. So the 49ers' magic number to clinch the 2 seed is 1. They need either a win or a Saints loss. The Saints need a win and a 49ers loss this Sunday if they are going to be the 2 seed and get the first round bye. But that said, a lot of teams, look at Green Bay a year ago. Green Bay had to play 3 games on the road in the NFC playoffs, right, and still got all the way to the Super Bowl and then won the Super Bowl. So it's not impossible to do it by any means.
Yeah, Falcons could be back here within 2 weeks' time. Of course, Drew Brees with the record of Dan Marino. I thought Brees was wonderful in how he handled it afterwards. And as far as how the Saints handled it, listen, people are going to debate whether it was running up the score, rubbing it in, and everything else. And I understand that. I think there's some merit to people thinking that. But at the same time, given the circumstances, I have no problem with it. Game was decided. Saints were at home. It's kind of an albatross. You'd like to get out of the way, and I thought they did exactly what they should have done.
Yeah, I mean, what's amazing is as big as this game was Monday night, with really a lot at stake in terms of the NFC playoffs and still potentially the South Division title on the line, the Saints needing one more win. All anybody was talking about leading into this game was Drew Brees and the record.
Right.
So clearly it had taken over, the whole culture of what the Saints deal with, and they wanted to get it out of the way. No question about that. I have no problem with what Sean Payton and staff did with it.
No, they got it out of the way. And it was obvious it impacted this team. They really struggled on offense for much of the second half, I thought, because they were trying to get this done. There were a few forced throws in there. And this wasn't Brees' best performance. He had 4 or 5 balls that people got hands on in that game, 2 that were intercepted. But he still Drew Brees. He made big plays. Defense made a big play. They ran the ball well. This team looks very, very good. Now comes that scenario again, a game that might not mean anything. They're playing at the same time that the 49ers will be playing next week, and no one expects the 49ers to lose at St. Louis like the Saints did. Will the Saints be scoreboard watching in terms of how they played this game against Carolina?
Well, we talked last week about the Saints-Falcons being an identical scenario to a year ago with the shoe on the other foot. This is an identical scenario to Week 17 last year, where with the Saints and the Falcons, the Saints, of course, won the game to make it a 1-game spread in the NFC South, but it was a similar situation. The Falcons if Falcons won, they were in. The Saints lost, the Falcons won a division. You were talking about the number 1 seed in the NFC at that point to go along with it. This is a similar scenario in that the 49ers, as we said, their magic number is 1. A win or a Saints loss, they get it. Saints need the win and the loss. Yes, they will keep an eye on things. I think you will see Sean Payton play it very similarly to how he did a year ago. 49ers get a 2-score lead over the Rams. I think he'll take the foot off the throttle a little bit, start putting in some backups. I absolutely think you'll see Chase Daniel play at some point in this game. And who knows? Any given Sunday in the NFL, anything is possible. You might see the Rams go pull an upset on Sunday.
That won't happen. Lenny, it's been a pleasure. As always, thank you. Hope you had a good Christmas. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, Ken.
All right, don't forget, Sports Noah TV, special edition, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. on WHNO TV, Channel 20. Torrance Ball, Brian Ellie Walsh, and Renee Nato will join me. That's Sports Noah TV, 6 p.m. Tuesday night, WHNO Channel 20. For Lenny Vangilder, I'm Ken Trahan. Thanks for joining us.